So these are explosive revelations coming in that lead us to our big questions tonight. Is it now clear that kickbacks were paid when the UPA was in power to the middleman? Did the middleman also benefit during the NDA rule? And did the CBI crucially sit on the kickback documents that were provided by the Mauritius AG? And is the Modi government now ready for a full probe and a JPC into the alleged kickbacks as the opposition wants? Nalin Kohli, BJP spokesperson, Pawan Khera, Congress spokesperson on our face-off tonight. Pawan Khera, to you first, because this story starts from 2007 to 12 when, according to Mediapart, the documents clearly show fake invoices that led to kickbacks worth 7.5 million euros being paid to Sushen Gupta. Can the UPA therefore come into this debate with clean hands when that part seems to be clear?
Okay. Rajdeep, the story actually starts much before that. The previous expose of Mediapart, and I have it with me, which was on the 7th of March 2021, they say he was hired at the beginning of 2000. Whose government was it? Mr. Vajpayee's government. Are we trying to suggest that if a private company hires a middleman anywhere in the world, the government of the day will be accused of corruption? If yes, then let's investigate the crores of rupees that he received. And I have those documents also. Here are those documents when Mr. Vajpayee was the Prime Minister. So are we trying to suggest that Mr. Vajpayee's government was indulging into some corruption? We cannot say that, because unless we can show a quid pro quo between Dassault and Mr. Vajpayee's government, we cannot prove this. Likewise, under the UPA, let's assume that Mr. Sushen Gupta received some money from a private company in France. What was the quid pro quo? Did the deal fructify? We were tough on our negotiations, so much so, Rajdeep, that one member of parliament raised a voice, said that Eurofighter is cheaper. Mr. Anthony got up, started the investigation, started to find out whether we can get a cheaper option. That was the reason of the delay. So here we have a government, we have a government which has a clear quid pro quo. The same Mediapart report of 7th March says that Sushen Gupta's services are being hired by Thales because Sushen is on good terms with the president of BJP, Amit Shah, the finance minister, Arun Jaitley, and head of the Indian Air Force, Arup Raha. Again, the same Mediapart, which is the previous series. Unfortunately, the media chose to ignore this. We tried raising this even when this came out. But suddenly the media has become very active. UPA, boss. Where is the quid pro quo? And what about Amit Shah?
Okay,
the name of Amit Shah figuring in Mediapart.
You're saying, Mr. Khera, where is the quid pro quo? The same Sushen Gupta was arrested in 2019 by the NDA Modi government in the Augusta-Westland deal, the helicopter deal that was struck when the UPA was in power. So Sushen Gupta is the middleman who gets the benefit during the Augusta-Westland deal, which was struck, which was finalized, and apparently got it during the tender process of the Rafale deal. So clearly Sushen Gupta also had a strong link during the UPA years with defense manufacturers, and he was arrested by the NDA government.
Point number one, who ordered the inquiry in Augusta Westland? Manmohan Singh government. Who cancelled the deal and asked for the bank guarantee? Manmohan Singh government. How can you accuse that government of corruption, which just on a whiff, on a suspicion, minor suspicion of foul play, ordered cancellation of the contract, unlike this government, which claims that UPA took the commission but runs away from investigation? अरे जब हमने कमीशन लिया है तो आप बच के क्यों भाग रहे हो? इंक्वायरी से करिए ना, आपको तो सूट करता है। और हम 5 साल से मांग कर रहे हैं कि करिए इंक्वायरी, करिए इंक्वायरी। That's very, 5 साल से छिपते हुए घूम रहे हैं।
That's very interesting. That's very interesting, Nalin Kohli. It's the Congress today, and not just today, but even yesterday or over the last few years, that has been asking for an inquiry, for a JPC, and the BJP is refusing it. What is very astonishing is that on October 11, 2018, you receive evidence of these 7.5 million euros kickbacks. They are given to the CBI director, and yet there is no probe. And the same CBI director, 12 days later, on October 23rd, is removed in a midnight coup. Why did the BJP not act on this information? Why has it required 3 years later this information to come into public domain? And it is true that according to Mediapart, the person involved, Sushen Gupta, was known to Amit Shah, Arun Jaitley and other BJP leaders.
So Rajdeep, you would agree I've heard very patiently your question and also what Mr. Khera said without any interruption. So I'll just expect the same courtesy. Let's go one by one. Only the Congress party can cover up gross incompetence as a virtue, and then on the second side try to brazen out what clearly is a commission at their end. And I will answer everything that's been asked. Let's start with the last question. That so-called Sushen Gupta seems to have known Amit Bhai or Arun Ji or anyone else. So just go back to the Jain Hawala diaries. I'll pick up a diary just now and I'll write down in that diary that I have given 200 crores to Mrs. Sonia Gandhi, 300 to Rahul Gandhi and 400 to Ms. Priyanka Vadra. So is that going to be the evidence? Somebody goes, makes a claim to take money and collect it from some company, and you say that the person he's dropping names is the guilty. I mean, there's a new jurisprudence. Go and read your Jain Hawala. Number two, that was the judgment. Number two, let's go to the case here. The money is taken and given in the period 2007 to 12. And what does Mr. Khera bring up? Oath. Where did the deal take place? I mean, Mr. Anthony will go down in the history of India to be the defense minister who ensured that India's security was compromised to levels that when the NDA government of Prime Minister Modi came in, we didn't even have ammunition for 10 days of war if God forbid we had to face it. You didn't have stock of ammunitions and even bombs. This was the case. 10 years they sit on a deal. And because why a middleman is collecting money during their tenure, paying it to them while they are in government and a deal doesn't take place, it begs the question that what was it? That they were staying back for greater commissions? Fine, then let's move. The deal happens under the NDA government of Prime Minister Modi, government to government. So are we now to believe that a government is paying a commission to another government?
Dassault is paying.
I mean,
commission is paid by Dassault.
Bilateral that is signed between two
Mr.
governments.
Kohli,
I mean, this is a new argument that's being brought.
No, 1 minute.
Yes.
It may be a government to government deal. The payment as per Mediapart in both instances is paid by Dassault. A. And the critical question is, all this information, even of the kickbacks, is given to the CBI on October 11, 2018. The government doesn't order a probe, instead removes the CBI director in a midnight coup. Unprecedented. What did the BJP have to hide?
Nothing. And why should the BJP have anything to hide if the corruption has happened always under the Congress?
Exactly.
Is there a single
So
deal in which there's corruption? Can you please just recall your... Yes, Sambit, Mr. Sardesai, you will have to have the patience to hear me out.
Go ahead.
You are 15 seconds away and you break my thought.
Go ahead.
And every time you break my thought, I have to repeat what I have to say, which obviously is an unnecessary waste of time. So again, let me start at the top of what I was saying. I was saying that why should the BJP have anything to hide? Has the BJP gone in here and done any corruption? All the corrupt deals happened during the UPA. And that's where the commission agents were there. So Sushen Gupta, was he in jail or not? I am no spokesperson for the CBI, ED or Sushen Gupta. But your channel, as other channels have reported, that he was in jail, being investigated. Now it may be Augusta Westland, but how do you make an assumption that he's not being investigated for this? Has the CBI told you they are not investigating it? Have you gone ahead and sent your reporter and got a clear, unequivocal thing from the CBI or an agency saying that they are not investigating him for other things? As a lawyer, I know if you are there investigating someone, collecting evidence in that you send him to jail, you may be well on the way to file a charge sheet which is supplementary to something else.
That's not what the CBI. That's not what the CBI told the Supreme Court, Mr. Kohli. That's not what the CBI told the Supreme Court.
I'll come to the CBI director also. I'll come to the CBI director story, Mr. Sardesai. Recall.
Yes.
Please recall that the Congress party tried to flag and flog the Rafale issue, in which they made all allegations. This matter went to no less than the Supreme Court. All papers were given in a sealed envelope to the Supreme Court. They said nothing is wrong here. Now, what did the Congress party want? Make public what are the munitions, missiles, whatever bought in the deal. I mean, the ISI is waiting for that information. So must be China.
No, sir.
So what does Congress want? First they don't take the aircraft,
did the
then they want us to
CBI
put all the
provide the
defense
documents of
details
the
out in the public
kickbacks?
domain.
Did the CBI provide the documents of the kickbacks that were made available by the AG of Mauritius to the Supreme Court? To the why is it scared of a JPC? Why are you unwilling to probe it? If it's a Congress kickback, you should be hammering the Congress. Make it public. Expose the Congress.
No. Of course we are hammering the Congress. Of course we are hammering the Congress.
So why did you not provide it to the Supreme Court?
That's why Prime Minister Modi's government has gone after everyone. Mr. Sardesai, have the patience to hear and answer. Mr. Sardesai, have the patience, and
Yes.
I really implore you, have the patience to hear and answer if you
Yes.
ask a question. If you wish to answer it yourself, you don't need me.
Yes.
I mean, just go ahead and answer it yourself and make your assumption. You are entitled to. It's your show. So let
don't
me
waste
finish
time.
what I'm saying.
May I be allowed
And you break
to?
my trail of thought, Mr. Sardesai. So what waste time is what, Mr. Khera? Just because I'm making an argument against you is a waste of time for you. You're entitled to believe that.
Make any argument.
Let the
That's
public
the problem.
decide whether
So
it's a
let's
waste
not
of time
waste
or not.
time.
But let
You
me
are
come to the
repeating-
point.
repeating the
Mr.
same
Khera,
word.
one minute.
Is not
I'll
worried
come to
about
you, Mr.
anything.
Khera, in a moment.
This entire thing, sorry, Pawan, if you want to interrupt
No,
me
no,
and try
please
to
go
get
ahead
down,
now.
I'll give it back to you in your own
No, no,
point.
Mr. Kohli,
I'm
come on.
capable of also
Don't you
talking
dare
over
threaten
you.
me. Don't you dare threaten me.
Yes.
I'm
Now please
quiet.
repeat your
I'm
question.
listening to you. Don't you
Please
dare
repeat your
threaten.
question.
Sir, I will-
In all this
Mr. Khera,
hullabaloo,
one
I have
minute.
actually forgotten what you
No,
wanted
no,
me to answer.
Mr. Kohli, I will ask you one last time. Why is it that the BJP government was
Please,
reluctant, has not provided these documents of the AG of Mauritius to the Supreme Court or probed them? Yes, why have you not done it? If these kickbacks did take place, why is it that the government has
Why are you
repeatedly
making
said
an
that the
assumption that it hasn't been
Dassault
done?
deal has no kickbacks?
No, on what basis are you making that assumption,
Because
Mr.
the public
Sardesai?
statement of the
Mr.
government in
Sardesai, on what
Parliament has
assumption?
been there
On
were
what
no
basis are you
kickbacks.
making that assumption?
Sir, because
Ask
the
one
government's
minute,
deal,
Mr.
whether
Sardesai,
Manohar
you are
Parrikar,
amazing,
Nirmala
man.
Sitharaman
You just ask
have
a
said there
question
were no
and then you will not
kickbacks.
wait for an answer. I mean, honestly, you have to have the patience to hear an answer if you have a question.
You're not
So we are
answering
back
my
to square
question.
one, as it was 2 minutes or 3 minutes ago. I'm not. I'm trying to answer it when you are interrupting me, Mr. Sardesai. I'm saying, why are you making that assumption? On what basis are you making that assumption? Were you there in the Supreme Court seeing the sealed envelope? Can you say with certainty, are you saying the Chief Justice of India or that bench was not competent enough to see all the things? Why are you making that assumption and on what basis?
Okay.
If you have a credible basis to make an assumption, please make so. You can't make it on just
Pawan
some
Khera-
surmises and then say that the BJP
Now
has
it's time.
failed.
Please let Pawan Khera also respond. Pawan Khera, the argument
Rajdeep.
according to the BJP is
course,
on what
I never
basis are you
interrupt. I
making
didn't
the
interrupt
assumption? Just a
him
minute,
earlier.
sir. What basis are you
That's not
making the
fair.
assumption that there has been no probe into Sushen Gupta, who as of today stands arrested and jailed in the Augusta Westland case?
Rajdeep, what happened on 26 March 2019? I think a major critical link we are missing out in this debate. On 26 March 2019, the Enforcement Directorate goes and raids Sushen Gupta in another matter, in Augusta matter. What do they recover? They recover the benchmark price document dated 10th of August 2015. Whose government? Mr. Modi's government. They recover the record of discussions by the Indian negotiation team of the Defense Ministry. This is a highly sensitive document. Why was it in the possession of Mr. Sushen Gupta? No one knows. Who was raiding him? Mr. Modi's Enforcement Directorate. When was this? 26 March 2019. Number 3, Excel sheet of calculations made by the Defense Ministry, Government of India. Number 4, Eurofighters counter offer made in a confidential letter to Mr. Arun Jaitley, wherein they offered a 20% discount on the bid price. Number 5, and this is critical, and my friend Mr. Kohli would not like it. A note dated 24th June 2014, whose government? Mr. Modi's government, sent to Dassault by Sushen Gupta, offering a meeting with, quote unquote, the political high command. Now these documents are with the ED since 26th March 2019. Where is the inquiry? We know why they would not hold the inquiry, because the political high command in this case is none other than Mr. Narendra Damodar Das Modi. That's the reason. Now, he is talking about Mr. Antony not fructifying the deal. We negotiated for 526 crore per aircraft, including transfer of technology. Mind you, they negotiate the same aircraft without transfer of technology for 1,670 crores. And I shouldn't say they, I should say he, because it was the Prime Minister who took personal interest. He's saying, my friend is saying that there is an intergovernmental agreement. Therefore, the Prime Minister has no business to intervene personally again, get the integrity clause removed. The Defense Ministry wanted the integrity clause to be there because the third party was a company, private company. The Prime Minister intervenes, overrules the Defense Ministry, gets the anti-corruption clause removed. Commission हमने ली है, anti-corruption clause आप हटा रहे हैं. आप हमें बचाने के लिए इतनी मेहनत क्यों कर रहे हैं? आप तो फंसाइए ना हमें.
Nalin Kohli, I know you will say, I will keep asking you this.
I'll
all
rebut
these,
it point
just
by
a minute,
point.
sir.
I don't need a question. I
No,
will
no,
rebut
Mr.
it point
Kohli.
by point.
Okay, respond.
No, I'll rebut it point by
Please
point,
rebut.
Mr.
No,
Sardesai,
please
and
rebut.
I must rebut it.
Wait,
Yeah,
because
please
some
rebut.
wild
You have to
allegations
ask-
have
No,
been
Pawan
made.
Kheda,
Number
allow him
one,
to rebut
I'll
you.
start with the last one.
Yes.
No, I am going to rebut each one point by point.
Yes.
So let's go one by one. Mr. Kheda probably has never bought a car. So you can buy a car, a base model, and you can add anything on it, and the car price may go up from 10 lakhs to 40 lakhs. The same is the case when you go and buy an aircraft with your missiles and your armaments. Your base price of the aircraft may be 500 crores. After that, depending on what missile you buy and what armament you buy, it may go up to 2,000 crores also. Number two, why a middleman? Why is the corruption thing removed? Because the middleman is removed. If you will recall, in 2014 itself, the then Defense Minister Manohar Parrikar ji said that, look, you can laugh on it. I'm going to answer something which you won't like, Pawan, now. So therefore, the then Defense Minister said, we are not keeping any middlemen. We are doing a government to government. Therefore, where is the question of corruption? Number three, I say the Prime Minister, he has no business to negotiate. That is what you say. Of course, under the UPA, you absolutely reduce the institution of the Prime Minister to making it a Secretary to Government of India, possibly or even lower. Because all the power was outside the government. So how dare the Prime Minister of India do something for the benefit of India?
I can also resort to rhetoric.
How dare he do something for the benefit of India?
Facts.
That's a new argument, Mr. Kheda.
No, 1 minute. 1 minute. Just a minute, Mr. Kheda. Mr. Kheda, just a minute.
So yours is facts, but mine is not facts. Because they suit you, so they are facts.
Not allowed.
I
People
like that.
expect better from you. You are a qualified lawyer.
But that's exactly what you're doing, Mr. Kheda.
That's left for your other spokesperson. Sorry, I will come up with more facts. Please don't counter my facts with your fiction and rhetoric.
Pawan.
Sorry. No, I'm not getting agitated. Your Prime Minister will get agitated
it's
very
your
soon.
facts, but my fiction. I
Just
like
a
that,
minute,
Mr.
Mr. Kheda.
Agitated.
Mr. Kheda, 1 minute. I'm going to ask both of you.
No, wait.
I am going to ask both of you a pointed question.
Mr. Sardesai, this is really funny. His statements are facts, mine is rhetoric.
I want to
Why
give you
should
a
it not
fact.
be the vice versa?
I want to give you another fact.
Yes.
Quoting from the same Mediapart. When the agency
Okay, so tell us the name of the person who took the money between 2007 and 2012. Give us that name and we will believe that you
No, Nalin Kohli, both of you listen to each other.
Behave like an educated man, don't interrupt.
Yes, go
In
ahead.
2016, why was 1 million euro
One minute, hold on.
paid
Pawan, don't make it
to
personal. I'm sorry,
Sushen
Pawan. How
Gupta?
dare you say behave like an educated man? Who are you to give me a lecture whether I'm educated or not, Mr. Kheda? And I'll put it right down there. I'm not sitting here to take your platitudes in determining. I'm sorry. If you are going to be interrupted, then you deserve to be interrupted. How dare you say behave like an educated man? And I will not participate in a debate if I'm going to be demeaned by
I will ask both of you to keep your volume, producer volume down. I will ask both of you a straight, simple question for which I want a clear answer. You, Pawan Kheda, you want a JPC probe? Are you ready for a JPC probe into a sensitive aircraft deal which you believe? Are you ready? Is that what you want? Is that the only way out now, according to the Congress party?
You asking me, Rajdeep?
Yes.
Rajdeep, we have been asking for a JPC probe because we know exactly the role of the Prime Minister here. He overruled the law ministry twice, not once,
Even
on the sovereign guarantee issue.
Even
on
after the Supreme Court has dismissed your
Mr.
petition, you still want the JPC based on fresh facts.
Mr. Sardesai, where in the Supreme Court did you see the ED findings, which post dates the Supreme Court? Supreme Court happened before 26 March 2019. Supreme Court happened in December 2018. On 26 March 2019, ED recovers these sensitive documents being leaked by this middleman from Mr. Modi's defense ministry and given to Dassault. That's why 5.09 billion, which was our INT's price, went up to 7.87. Again, the Prime Minister intervened and allowed the price escalation.
Okay.
The CAG was not given.
You believe fresh facts demand the JPC. You made your point. Mr. Kheda, Nalin Kohli, you've not given a very strong answer. Why was that integrity anti-corruption clause removed? And now it's very clear that Sushen Gupta, according to Mediapart, was involved in this entire process till 2016. Why did Nirmala Sitharaman, Manohar Parrikar and every BJP leader on the floor of parliament said there were no kickbacks? Clearly, Mr. Sushen Gupta is a beneficiary.
No. First of all, Mr. Sardesai, I take offense and I'm registering my protest I'm not going to stand in a debate or sit in it with someone saying behave like an educated man. Certainly not. I expected Mr. Khera to be a
No,
gentleman.
Mr.
that
Khera,
some people
Mr.
say
Khera,
he is.
please.
And you as an anchor should
Mr.
have
Khera,
asked him to withdraw that statement.
why don't you say that?
No,
Mr.
you should have
Khera,
asked him to withdraw that statement.
Mr. Khera, you
This
are a
is
good
not
friend
done,
of
Mr.
Nalin
Sambit.
Kohli. Withdraw the statement and move
This
on.
is just not done. Absolutely. But I absolutely withdraw it and let's close the chapter. That's all I'm asking.
Okay. Now answer my question.
आप ruling party हैं तो आप हमें
No, 1 minute. Is that statement withdrawn? Let him withdraw that statement. I will answer everything. But I'm not going to allow someone to make it personal against me because there are others who may be comfortable with it. I don't accept this kind of
इनके पास
thing.
जवाब नहीं है, इनके पास जवाब नहीं है तो बहाने ढूंढ रहे हैं बच के भागने के. इनको मत भागने दीजिएगा, रोकिए इनको, बोलिए.
Well,
Arre,
Mr.
1 minute,
Mr.
1 minute.
Sardesai,
Will you let me anchor the show?
The
Will you let
Congress
me anchor
party
the show,
is
please,
welcome
Mr.
to
Khera?
have come like Mr. Khera on
Mr. Khera, let me
television,
anchor
make
the show.
personal comments.
यहाँ गुंडा.
अरे छोड़िए, आपके बहाने नहीं चाहिए, Mr. Khera. You are entitled to drop to the level that your party and its leadership has fallen. Congratulations and good luck to you.
जवाब नहीं है तो चले जाओ ना, बहाने क्यों बना रहे हो?
अरे छोड़िए, मुझे आपको क्या जवाब देना? आप लोग अपने ना नौटंकी रखिए जा रखना है.
Time out.
आपको यही भाषा समझ आती है.
Time out.